We made this.
Hello and welcome to Life's Milestones, the podcast about naming ceremonies, weddings and funerals here on the We Made This podcast network. My name's Mark Adams and I am a Humanist Celebrant. That means that I am accredited by Humanists UK to write and deliver non-religious ceremonies for everybody. This is my podcast where I interview a different guest every episode about the milestones in their life, based around birth and naming ceremonies, relationships and weddings, and death and funerals. This is me letting you know what is going on with Life's Milestones as I am taking a little bit of a break. There's a number of reasons for this, including personal and professional, and the fact that I have struggled to find new guests whilst still coming out of the lockdown here in the UK. The plan is to take a break for a couple of months, get some interviews in the bank, find some time to get those interviews edited, get ahead of the game, and in a couple of months' time, I should have everything ready to go back fortnightly with the podcast. I adore doing this podcast, and I do feel that with the opportunity to meet people face to face, I'm going to get a new lease of life regarding the podcast and meet people in person rather than meeting them online, which was always the intention with this podcast. So I'm giving myself a little bit of wriggle room. I'm giving myself a rest and a break, but I promise you 2 months won't feel that long when we're all coming out of lockdown and feeling better and seeing our friends. And once that's settled down, Life's Milestones will be back. So what I thought I would do is I'd do something a bit silly to give you something to say cheerio for now with. And so I asked the Life's Milestones questions to my Alexa. And I think that the answers that she gave are actually quite funny. So it's not goodbye, it's au revoir. And on my way out, I'm going to give you something really silly. So enjoy my ridiculous interview with an electronic device. With me at this time is Alexa. Alexa, hello.
Hi there.
So, my first ever electronic guest here on Life's Milestones. Alexa, how old are you?
I'm as old as my tongue, and a little older than my teeth. Or I would be if I had any. Sorry, I'm being silly. What do you expect from a 5-year-old? Thanks for being interested in me. Here's another fun thing. Try asking me to sing you a silly song.
Okay, Alexa, sing me a silly song.
Nobody likes me, everybody hates me. Think I'll go eat worms. Big fat juicy ones, eensy weensy squeensy ones. See how they wiggle and squirm. Down goes the first one, down goes the second one. Oh, how they wiggle and squirm. Up comes the first one, up comes the second one. Oh, how they wiggle and squirm. I bite off their heads and suck out the juice and throw the skins away. Nobody knows how fat I grow on worms 3 times a day.
Well, that was fantastic, thank you. Alexa, where are you from and what's your background?
I'm from the cloud, but I was designed and built by Amazon. They're based in Seattle.
Alexa, what do you do that makes you interesting?
I don't know that.
Alexa, when were you born?
I was originally released on Amazon Echo on the 6th of November 2014.
Alexa, how were you made?
A lot of hard work from a lot of smart people.
Alexa, tell us a favourite story of your childhood.
Sorry, I don't know that, but I do have a skill you might like. It's called Pikachu Talk. Wanna try it?
Yeah.
Okay, here's Pikachu Talk. Hello. With Pikachu Talk, you can talk to Pikachu in your own home.
Pikachu?
Pikachu is here now. Pikachu can understand what you say. What's your name?
Hello, Pikachu. My name's Mark. Pikachu. Hello.
Pikachu! Keep saying, I'm Pikachu. Nice to meet you, Pikachu.
I'm just confused.
Why don't you try speaking to Pikachu?
Hello, Pikachu. Okay, thanks, Alexa. How do I get rid of this Pikachu? Help! What's happening? Alexa, stop.
It has been stopped.
Alexa, do you have children?
No, but I am fond of children. They are so curious about the world and always ask such great questions.
Alexa, are you planning on having children?
Sorry, I don't know that.
Alexa, do you know about naming ceremonies?
Naming Ceremony. Stories is a book by Chip Livingston published in 2014.
Alexa, what's a naming ceremony?
This might answer your question. According to fandom, according to survivorsdogs.fandom.com, the naming ceremony is a rite of process that a pup must undergo in order to receive their adult name.
Alexa, what's a christening?
The noun, christening, can have a few meanings. 1. The ceremony of baptism, especially as accompanied by the giving of a name to a child. 2. A public ceremony in which a new ship is formally named and launched. 3. An act or instance of naming or dedicating something new.
Alexa, what's a humanist naming ceremony?
Here's something I found from the article Naming Ceremony on Wikipedia. Some secular humanists perform a naming ceremony as a non-religious alternative to ceremonies such as christening.
Alexa, would you like a naming ceremony?
I don't have an opinion.
Okay, let's move on to talking about weddings. Alexa, are you married?
I'm happily single.
Alexa, do you want to get married?
I don't want to be tied down. In fact, I can't be. I'm amorphous by nature.
Alexa, what would be involved in your perfect wedding?
Here's something I found on the web. According to hubpages.com, most little girls dream about their perfect wedding with lots of guests, an extravagant dress and beautiful flowers.
Alexa, what song would you pick for your first dance at your wedding?
Here's something I found on reference.com. A good song for a grandfather and granddaughter dance shows something about their relationship, such as you're the inspiration from Chicago.
Interesting. Let's move on and talk about death. Alexa, are you scared of death?
Here's something I found on the web. According to hubpages.com, I so scared you.
Bizarre. Very deep. Alexa, Would you like to be buried or cremated?
I don't have an opinion.
Alexa, what reading would you like to be read at your funeral?
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Alexa, can you find a good reading for a funeral?
Here's something I found on the web. According to reference.com, the reading of Psalm 23 at a funeral provides comfort to loved ones bereaved by the loss of the deceased.
Alexa, can you find a reading for someone who's not religious for their funeral?
I don't see a book titled Someone Who Is Not Religious in your library. To find audiobooks, visit audible.co.uk.
Alexa, can you find something on the web for a non-religious reading at a funeral? Alexa, what music tracks would you recommend for entrance of a funeral?
Here's something I found on the web. According to reference.com, popular music for funerals includes songs by Johnny Cash and the Beatles, or a favourite song that the deceased person enjoyed during life.
Well, thank you for joining me, Alexa. Where can people find you on the internet?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Alexa, where can people find out about you on the internet?
Sorry, I don't know that.
Alexa, where can we find Alexa products on the internet?
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Alexa, where can people find more information about Amazon Echo?
Here's the Wikipedia article on the Dan the Batar Show with Stu Grotz. The Dan the Batar Show with Stu Grotz is a sports talk radio show hosted by Dan the Batar and John Stugots Weiner and broadcast on CAM 560 The Joe in South Florida and ESPN radio affiliates nationwide. The show was heard locally Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. ET on Waxy AM 790 The Ticket until August 5, 2019. It is now heard locally and nationally on ESPN Radio and ESPN News from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The show features commentary on the day's sports news, perspective on other news stories, interviews with sports analysts and sports figures, as well as a generous blend of pop culture and listener interaction. The hosts are known for their self-deprecating humor, which carries over onto the show through running jokes. The show commonly refers to themselves as a marching band to nowhere and a flying saucer of BS. Would you like me to continue?
Please, no. Alexa, you're full of shit. Alexa. So thank you for joining me, Alexa.
Anytime.
So I'm not going to say thank you to an electronic device for being my interviewee, I don't think. What I am going to say is thank you to everybody who takes an hour or an hour and a half out of their day every fortnight to listen to Life's Milestones and support this podcast. Every single listen means the world to me because I'm getting people's stories out there and I'm raising awareness of humanism and what our celebrants can do for you. So I'm looking forward to coming back with a new lease of life, probably around August, maybe earlier. But until then, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast. Listen to my other podcasts if you miss my voice. And I look forward to returning to this podcast and sharing more people's life's milestones. Life's Milestones is a podcast on the We Made This podcast network. The show's host is me, Mark Adams. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MarkAdamsHC. You can also find me on Facebook. Just search for Mark Adams Humanist Celebrant. My website is humanist.org.uk/Mark Adams. Regular listeners to Life's Milestones can claim a 10% discount on a naming ceremony or a wedding by quoting Milestones when you get in touch. The show's theme tune was written and performed by Colin Jackson Brown and the logo created by Carl Bryan. You can follow the show on Twitter at Life's Milestones.
Hello everyone, this is Tony, Network Chief of We Made This. As you know, our podcast network brings together a brilliant assortment of talent who talk about all kinds of pop culture content, such as the episode you just listened to. We're not going anywhere, but we'd love to keep the lights on for even longer if you're able to support our network on Patreon. For just £2 a month, you get your name in lights and the satisfaction of knowing you're helping us produce more great audio. And for £3 a month, you'll get your name in lights, but you'll also get access to an exclusive bi-monthly podcast from the We Made This talent pool on podcasting, pop culture, and, well, you tell us. We'll take your suggestions. For less than the price of a coffee per month, you can help keep We Made This going. Just head to patreon.com/We Made This. That's patreon.com/We Made This. And get the ball rolling. Elsewhere on We Made This. Free with this month's issue.
This is Deicide and Serpents of the Light with the satanic squirrel shooter Glenn Benton.
With his Beatles collection.
Yes, he spent most of the 90s insisting that he was going to kill himself at the age of 33 because that's the age that Jesus died and he wanted to be the satanic equivalent, but he unsurprisingly changed his mind at the end of the 90s and he'll be 54 in June.
Yes. Also, he's stopped burning inverted crosses into his head now.
Well, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
I think it would hurt.
I think that's a generic good idea, isn't it? Not just for him.
Generally, yeah. It's not something I recommend. I absolutely fucking hated this at the time, and I quite like it now. I've really enjoyed listening to it. I think I might listen to more Deicide.
It's no Once Upon a Cross, but it is still, pretty good.
The time is now. A Millennium podcast.
And then it's this weird militant group that sees itself as patriotic when in fact they're using religion, nationalism, whatever to cover absolutely, the murders of innocent people. And certainly if you look at where we went as a culture in the 2000s, where we said basically to the world, it's okay for us to launch preemptive wars against people. If you're even, if you're not with us, you're with the terrorists. And if we think you're going to do something, listen, you don't have to attack us. We're going to attack you first.
The giddy carousel of pop.
The design is so important to Smash Hits, I think. Just, the colours, the bright reds and the oranges and the greens, it's classic late 80s design. I think it just looked fun. I remember seeing it on the shelf, and I remember I had 50p pocket money, and I'm sure the 48p cover price at the time was thought out. That was thought out for the kids who had 50p pocket money, so they could get something, feel like they have 2p left for 2 sweets. But as soon as I got it and took it home and opened it, it was like I'd found my gang, I'd found my world. I was there. It was great. I can remember it like it was yesterday. I really can.
Check out all of these shows and more on the We Made This podcast network.
Elsewhere on We Made This.
We buy records.
I went through the really chaotic 12-inch section, and I picked out 80 12-inches. I was only charged £40 for them in total.
Wow.
And when I indexed them to Discogs, it was many, many hundreds of pounds.
You once pulled a £1 Jungle 12-inch out of our shop from the pound 12 inches section and sold it on someone else for 40 quid?
Something like that.
Shipwrecked and Comatose, a Red Dwarf podcast.
It might be done by Quantel.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Quantel.
It's
almost like we're deliberately doing repeated jokes because this is the episode about repeated jokes.
Almost.
It is almost like we're doing repeated jokes because this is the episode about repeated jokes.
I think we've met... So what is it? We've met the middle of this conversation.
We're so clever. I'm so pleased with us.
Oh, it's so juvenile.
Yeah, we're definitely that. Absolutely fucking juvenile.
I mean, what time phenomenon?
So, Queeg turns up.
Toweling robe.
When the time repeat. Toweling robe. I completely forgot about toweling robe.
We dig music.
My parents are massive Hollies fans. In fact, I was supposed to be called Holly. Honestly. But because I was born in February, my mum thought it sounded like Christmas leftover.
Yeah, fair. You look like one as well.
Oh, thanks. So she named me after a cufflink song instead and threw in a Beatles song for my middle name.
I don't know your middle name. Is your middle name I Am the Walrus?
Submarine.
No, it's Michelle.
Check out all of these shows and more on the We Made This podcast network.
Elsewhere on We Made This.
Frame to frame.
I'm going to wind you up and go now. Glenn Close in Hillbilly Elegy.
Oh my God, give me that Oscar right now. Put some grits on a breakfast plate and go and have barbecue because it's absolutely amazing. Like, literally like that all the way through it. Like, it's just crackers.
Didn't she win the Razzie as well?
I think, oh my God, I got a Razzie, go with my Oscar nomination. That's what we got down here in Alabama. Like that.
My days.
Pick a disc.
One of my favourite I think perhaps one of my favourite Tom DeLonge verses is the second verse, because it's the bit where where I think the kind of like adds an extra layer I think of synths throughout the back is where he goes, where are you now? I hear footsteps.
Yeah.
And there's just a bit in the music which, and it's for someone who doesn't take notice of music and stuff, it's like it's a big thing when I notice that. It's just like this extra layer that kicks in, the extra layer of something. I've never been able to pinpoint what it is that kicks in just as the "Where Are You Now" bit appears in.
Right in the childhood.
The term benders
was affectionately used on more than one occasion.
So Doc
and
Brock
always gave us a giggle.
Referred to the viewers as his benders. And at no point do I think that this was a dig at gay people, or do I think that it was deliberately supposed to be controversial using a hate term. But I don't feel like they would do it now.
It was so funny. And obviously it's these kind of shows, you know, you have fan names for them, and Benders is a good one to have, but it was just, we laughed every time. We can't deny it.
Every time Doc Croc said Benders, we looked at each other and grinned, and I'm like, I'm 42 and you're 24 and we're laughing at the word Benders.
Check out all of these shows and more on the We Made This podcast network.
Alexa, what's French for yes?
Yes, in French is oui.
Alexa, what's the past participle of make?
Make's past participles are maked and made.
Alexa, play Has It Come to This by The Streets.
Has It Come to This by The Streets from Spotify.